At the beginning of the story, we see a luxurious house on a cliff. In this house, there is a girl who has not slept for a long time. Her name is Cecilia. Cecilia gets up from the bed and takes out a medicine from under the mattress. Diazepam is written on this medicine. This medicine makes a person unconscious. Actually, Cecilia lives with her boyfriend named Adrian, who is a scientist and a rich businessman, who completely controls Cecilia. She is a prisoner in this house. Cecilia gives him a sleeping pill and starts to run away. Suddenly their dog hits the car and the car alarm starts going on. She runs away, and as she jumps over the high wall of the house lights turn on, which means that Adrian wakes up. She rushes to the road, and just then a car comes. She is Cecilia's sister. But by then Adrian also reaches there and breaks the car window. But they both manage to escape from there. Just then, Adrian notices that the same drug is lying on the road vial that Cecilia used to make him unconscious. Cecilia no longer goes to her house, she goes to her friend James, who is a detective. The detective lives in his house with his daughter. Cecilia is so scared that she doesn't even go out of the house. 2 weeks later, Cecilia's sister visits her to tell her that Adrian has committed suicide. Cecilia is shocked to hear this. She tells them how he can do that. Everything in life was under his control, and I had to eat, drink and walk according to his will. He wanted me to be the mother of his child, but I used to take medicine without telling him, from which I never got pregnant. Then Cecilia moves out of the house, she feeling free after Adrian's death. Her detective friend gives her a letter. She is surprised to see this letter, as she has not told anyone about this address. This letter is from Adrian's brother, who is also his lawyer. The next day Cecilia goes to see him. He tells her Adrian made $5 million in your name. He gets Cecilia to sign a paper saying that you will continue to receive $100,000 per year, and that he has also transferred his tax-free property to you. Cecilia then returns to her friend's house. Her friend's daughter named Sydney wants to attend a college with high fees. Cecilia decides to pay her $10,000 a month. Sydney is very happy to see this. At night, when Cecilia is in her room, she feels that someone is following her, but when she looks back, there is no one there. The next morning, while Cecilia is making breakfast, she goes to wake up Sydney. Then the gas flame in the kitchen becomes self-igniting, causing the pan to catch fire. But things don't end there. At night, when Cecilia is working on her laptop, she feels like someone is watching her. She goes out and looks, but no one is there. Then she goes to sleep at night, and someone pulls the bed sheet and the camera flashes starts to shine. Cecilia wakes up from her sleep. She sees that her bed sheet is lying down. She picks up the bed sheet and then she hears someone sitting on the chair. She throws a bed sheet on the chair, but no one is there either. Then she moves towards her bed and someone presses her bed sheet with his feet. She looks back and sees footprints on the bed sheet. And seeing that they are slowly moving towards her, she gets very scared and starts screaming, which wakes Sydney up, and her friend comes in and she tells her that there was someone, but James says to her, you have to forget the old things. The next day Cecilia goes for a job interview and faints. She is taken to the hospital where his blood samples are taken. When she comes home, she gets a call from the hospital and the doctor tells her that you are sick from diazepam. It's the same drug that Cecilia gave Adrian to make her sedated, which she is surprised to see because she has never used a drug. This vial was missed by her, but once again that medicine comes back to her. She does not know how this medicine came back to her. The next morning, she visits Adrian's brother with her friend James. Cecilia told Adrian is alive. He has made a discovery that led to his disappearance. But they both don't believe her. Cecilia then goes to her sister's house, but she neither listens to her nor lets her in. She says to Cecilia, I will never talk to you after seeing what you said to me on email. She comes home, turns on her laptop and sees that her sister has indeed been outrighted by someone from her email, and starts crying. Sydney then tries to console her, and someone slaps her hard. Sydney thinks that Cecilia slapped her, and his friend Jess arrives and tells Cecilia to stay away from my daughter and get out of my house as soon as possible. And James takes his daughter out of the room. Now Cecilia is convinced that Adrian is alive. She scatters coffee all over the floor so that they will find out when Adrian arrives. She tries to talk to Adrian in several ways, but gets no response. Then she calls Adrian's number and his phone rings at home, which is in the attic. When she opens the phone, there are pictures of her in the phone, and then she gets a message, surprise. Cecilia senses that someone is here and she drops a can of paint on the attic stairs, revealing the invisible man. Adrian starts to run away and Cecilia chases after him with a chuck after seeing his footprints. Walking into the kitchen, she sees sink's tap is running, where Adrian has cleaned himself. Adrian now strangles Cecilia. Somehow Cecilia comes out and books a cab and goes straight to Adrian's house. It is a very high-tech house, but the doors open with Cecilia's fingerprints. She goes straight to the lab where Adrian was researching becoming invisible. She touches a glass which reveals the invisible suit. Suddenly hearing a dog barking, Cecilia quickly takes off the suit and locks it in a closet. Adrian sees her and attacks her. Before Adrian can attack her further, the dog confronts her and she manages to escape. On the way she calls her sister and asks her to meet her at a hotel. She tells her sister that the mail you got was sent by Adrian, not me. She is telling the truth about Adrian to her sister, but suddenly Adrian cuts her sister's throat with a knife and gives it to her. Everyone thinks that she killed his sister, and Cecilia is not in a good mental state. She is taken to the hospital and injected with anesthesia, and then someone whispers in her ear, "Surprise." She realizes that Adrian is here. When Cecilia regains consciousness, she is shocked to hear that she is pregnant. Then her friend James come at hospital and say sorry to her. Cecilia telling him about Adrian and said Adrian is alive and I can prove this but not here, because Adrian is here and listening to them. Then Adrian's brother, who is also his lawyer, came to meet Cecilia. He said, now you're a criminal and as per law you can't get Adrian's money, but if you give birth to his child then you'll be able to get everything. Now we see his brother is also involved with Adrian. She got angry and threw files and said he killed my sister and said to him leave. She tries to cut her hand with the pen and says you will not get me or your child, but suddenly someone grabs her hand and then she says, I know you will come, and along with that pen she attacks him, causing a problem in his suit, and now the policeman also comes there. The policemen try to stop him but he kills everyone and runs away. Cecilia picks up a gun and starts chasing him. She comes outside and it's raining, but Adrian grabs her there and says, if you don't listen to me, I'll kill you and the ones you love. Now it's the turn of James's daughter Sydney. He leaves and attacks James and his daughter. As James is about to be killed, Cecilia sprays him with fire extinguishing spray, revealing Adrian. Cecilia fires all the bullets from the pistol into his chest and kills him. They remove the suit from his mouth, but it is not Adrian but his brother. James calls the police and the police hide out at Adrian's house, finding Adrian tied up in his basement, proving him innocent. But Cecilia doesn't believe it. Then James tells her he is innocent, all the murders were done by his brother, but Cecilia says he is lying. At night she calls Adrian and said, I want to meet you, I'm coming at your house. She also wears a tape recorder so that Jimmy can hear everything that happened between her and Adrian. Now Adrian in front of her, he tells her now I'm a changed person. He said, I know in the past my behavior was not right with you. She said, if you want me to give birth to your child and come back to you, tell everyone the truth, because I don't want to start our relationship with a lie. But he says everything done my brother. Hearing this, Cecilia starts crying and he comes close to her and says surprise. Hearing this, Cecilia realizes that Adrian has done all of this. Cecilia tells her I want to go to the bathroom. She goes to the bathroom and outside Adrian slits his throat. She is shocked to see this and calls the police. She shields herself from the CCTV cameras. After calling the police, she sits down in front of Adrian, with no sadness in her eyes, smile on her face. She says one word to Adrian, surprise. Adrian dies. She is leaving, but then her friend James comes there. James sees the invisible suit in his bag. In fact, when Cecilia went to the washroom, she put on the suit she had hidden in the closet. She came after Adrian wearing this suit and slit his throat. James says nothing to her and lets her go. Thus she avenges her sister's death and her own. Don't forget to like and subscribe, keep supporting for more amazing videos.